There's some things that could happen in college basketball that, for sake of storyline, would just be perfect, be flawless. Like players playing their old teams, rivals in some moment. So I want to pick out 5. Collectively, you and I want to pick out the 5 most dramatic things that could happen this season that we are rooting for to see happen. So let's go back and forth. I don't know if you prepared 5 or not. I want to go back and forth. I want you to give me one. I'll give you one. You give me one. I'll give you one. And then the 5th one we got to come up with together.
Okay, I'll do that. So my first one, and I'll give you a little backstory on where this is coming from, because I don't want to just do former players playing their former teams. So I feel like that one's easy. So this one is more so of outside of that. I think there's been a lot of chatter as of recently with the commitment of Cooper Flagg between Duke and UConn fans, as far as like what team has the better culture, what team works harder, what team does what team has more trophies, all that. I believe Hurley said some quotes as well about Duke kind of sending shots at them. A Duke UConn championship game, Hurley versus Shire, I think would be have a lot of narratives surrounding it and have a lot of spicy things leading up to it as far as like the media week and all of that. So I would love to see that.
I mean, that's incredible. I love that. I didn't think of that. So let's say, like, is that a Final Four game? Like, that would probably have to be, right? It's like the peak of like those 2 teams would be so good. They'd probably be playing the Final Four.
Yeah, I think so. Final Four championship game.
Final Four chance somewhere deep into the tournament.
Yes.
Who wins that game?
You know what? I personally think that UConn wins that game.
Do you think that like would Cooper Flagg be courtside? And if so, like, does Dan Hurley dap him up? What does Dan Hurley do with Cooper
Dan
Flagg?
Hurley like is up 20 and he's talking about this. He's pointing at Shire. He's like, that's your coach? That's who you're messing with? That's your man's?
Hurley really earned my respect this year in the tournament. The more I got to see behind the scenes of the man and up close, like after they won the championship, I think it was Rob came and grabbed me. I don't know if I've told the story on the pod or not, but I was sitting like behind the baseline with a couple other people from Field of 68. Rob and Jeff are courtside, of course. And Rob comes running. He just goes, phone, and grabs me. Like, I grab my phone, follow this man. The crowd's going nuts. The celebration has started. Rob's a UConn fan, obviously. He walks my ass all the way through the entire baseline, all the way through the entire sideline that is all UConn. It was the 2 UConn sections. They're going nuts. They've spilled as close as they can. He's high-fiving people. Everybody's like, Doster, you did it. All this shit. Walks me through. He stops. He sees Andrea Hurley in the stands. He goes up and hugs her. I swear this man, I think he kissed her on the cheek. And then he comes back down. And he's just the whole time, anytime he walks by me, he just gives me like this little smirk. Walks me all the way through this. I'm thinking he's going to take me like to the court area to be on the court and try to get something. Takes me out, goes through the tunnel on the opposite side. Like, we've now walked around 80% of the concourse to get to the opposite side. We go into the tunnel. I'm like, what are we doing? He goes, I just wanted you to see me in this moment. I was like, I had to respect it. It was the most petty thing I've ever seen. And yes, when we did finally get to Dan Hurley, that man knows how to win. That man is a victory lap extraordinaire. If God forbid they're in a spot where they beat Duke and Cooper Flagg's watching, it's going to be generational. I love that pick from you. My pick I alluded to earlier on the show, but it's so good I have to go back to it. I want RJ Davis versus Caleb Love. I want North Carolina versus Caleb Love. It shouldn't just be RJ Davis. Like, the bigger story is probably Armando versus Caleb Love after everything Armando has said this offseason. But to me, it's RJ versus Caleb because they were like the backcourt that couldn't get it together. And I think they're both killers. And I do think there's a world, even though I am out on North Carolina, I do think there's a world where I'm just wrong on that, and these teams meet in the NCAA tournament at some point. So let's flip it to you now. Again, if that happens, who do you think would win that game?
I think UNC would win that game.
Okay.
I do. Because I'm thinking of the version of UNC that I'm buying in on. Like, I got Cadeau, I got RJ Davis, I got Ingram, Cormac, Armando Bacot. And I'm taking that 5 against Arizona's best 5.
I want it known I'm falling completely prey to this. I'm going to feel so stupid about it when the season gets like 1 month in. I think Caleb Love dog walks every North Carolina guard in a head-to-head game.
And lets them know about it.
Lets him know
He
about it
is a big game dude. That would be what he does.
the same way he did it to Duke. Like if that moment shows up, you can't tell me if you have to bet on one player in that game, you're not betting on Caleb Love.
Can I throw another little wrinkle into this? This game isn't in the championship game. North Carolina had a really bad year, right? Let's say they get in the play-in game and Arizona beats them. Caleb Love ends Coach K's career and ends his former coach's career, and Hubert gets fired.
Oh my God. If Caleb Love, just the coach killer. It's like the meme of
the meme with the sword, like, yeah, with that thing, and he goes from Coach K to Hubert.
Oh my God, that's so good. I need that to happen. That's incredible.
That'd be crazy.
I wonder, it's probably more realistic that in the tournament they would play somebody good with a coach that's going to retire. Like, is there any coach that we know is on the way out that Caleb Love could two-piece? Like,
I mean, I don't know. Does Coach Cal lose in the first round again to Arizona?
what if we get to national championship game and Tom Izzo comes out and says, "This is my last one"? It's Thomas versus Caleb Love.
I hope that Tom is a little bit more like conscious of what Caleb Love can do, and he's like, I'm not going to say it till after.
That's true. All right, let's go quick with our other three because we do got to try and wrap this up to be ready for Joe. So give me one more from you.
Got you. So I was going to go Michigan State versus Kansas for the national championship because I feel like it's an obvious one, but I do want to throw this out there as well. Not in the championship game, but Hunter gets one more game against Illinois. Everyone thinks that he'll go winless against Illinois. He gets one more that's in the tournament for Illinois to go to the second weekend finally, and for Kansas and Hunter to finally beat Illinois. So, like, this is go to the Sweet 16 or something.
You think Kansas would win, or you just want to see it?
I want to see it. I don't know who would win, to be honest with you.
Okay, I'll spoil it for you. If that happens, Illinois is winning. They own him. They own him. I'm sorry. It's real. It's not fake. It was not just a Michigan thing. I said it was. I said it was Daddy Brad. Ha. Yeah, all that's true. It's also just a Hunter thing. Illinois owns this man. He could go to Kentucky, Kansas, Duke. I don't care. Combine the rosters and put Hunter Dickinson at center. If he's going up against Terrence Shannon, Brad Underwood, and Illinois, he's losing. I don't care the setting. Play it on the moon. Play it in our local YMCA. I don't care. I don't think he can do it. I'm convinced. Like, they just have his number, and it's not honestly just like weird voodoo either. Like, Brad knows how to beat him. Brad's a really good coach at adjusting his game plan in different ways. We know that. We've given him credit of that before. And he knows how to beat Hunter. Like, he has the formula. Coaches that coach Hunter don't know how to crack it because Brad has solved that puzzle. So I hope that happens. I would love to, dog, if we got, oh my God, I'm envisioning it. Oh my God, Carter, this is so good. Kansas is a 1 seed. Illinois is an 8 seed in the round of 32 to finally get to a Sweet 16. It's Illinois against Hunter. Sign me up. That would be so good. All right. I'm glad you went with that one. I'll just take the easy one. It's Hunter Michigan State too. Like, if we could be the selection committee for Kansas this offseason, I would love that, because if we got to a point where it was one game where Tom Izzo's one game away from his second title and the only thing standing in his way is Hunter effing Dickinson, I don't know what would happen to me personally. I'm not concerned about anyone else, but like, if I am going to bed with my head on the pillow, kiss my daughter goodnight, kiss my wife, kiss my dog, and I know the next day either Hunter Dickinson or Tom Izzo is going to be a national champion. And it's so possible too. That's not even a stretch. Like, that could very easily happen.
Very easily.
I don't want it at all. I'm so scared it's going to happen. All right, we need to pick one together. I feel like we need to do one involving our Creighton.
Our Creighton?
Yeah.
What about like Marquette versus Texas? Like Shaka going back to play Texas.
I don't think nobody dislikes Shaka like that. There's no drama there.
But the only one that I could think, Creighton, they go on their tournament run consists of going through their former players.
Ooh.
Ashworth dog walks Gonzaga. Baylor Shireman dog walks Kansas State, or Mason Miller dog walks Kansas State.
Ashworth. Well, okay, yeah. It
No,
could
no,
happen.
I'm not thinking
Yeah,
Ashworth versus Utah State. I'm thinking about
yeah,
like Creighton as a whole playing their former players on their tournament run.
yeah. I love that. I mean, yeah, just see Kaluma, see Nemhard. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic. I'd like that. Yeah, if we could get a Creighton Gonzaga like Final Four game or something, would be incredible. Kansas State feels like they won't be that good, but maybe it could happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one of those out of those five, which one do you most want to see? If you could only pick one, gun to your head, which one?
Ooh. I think it'd be Duke UConn because I think that'd be the best game.
Okay. I can't. The Illinois Hunter one is so good.
That
So
is good.
good. That's my pick for
They were
sure.
all good. It's hard to choose.
If you could sign me up for Illinois Hunter round of 32, I would pay way more money than I'm happy to admit